Here is the thing nobody tells you about landing a developer job. It is not luck. It is not who you know, or whether you are a genius. Job hunting is a funnel. Applications go in the top. Some become screening calls. A few of those become interviews. And out the bottom come 1 or 2 offers. Every stage converts, or it leaks. And when your search is not working, it is almost never everything that is broken. It is one specific stage that is leaking. The whole game is figuring out which one, and fixing that. So in this video I am going to give you the complete system, end to end. The full funnel, every stage, and the exact lever that fixes each one. This is the capstone that ties the whole thing together. Let us actually look at the funnel, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. At the top, applications. Let us say you send 100. That number narrows fast. Out of those 100, maybe a handful turn into recruiter screens or phone calls. Out of those screens, fewer become real interviews, the technical rounds, the on-sites. And out of the interviews, you are hoping for 1 or 2 offers. I am not giving you exact conversion rates, because they swing wildly with the market, your experience, and the roles you target. The point is the shape. It narrows. It is supposed to narrow. A funnel that goes from 100 to 1 or 2 is not a broken funnel. That is just what it looks like. Here is why this matters. Every stage has a different lever. The thing that fixes, no callbacks, is completely different from the thing that fixes, interviews but no offers. So before you do anything, you diagnose. Where is the drop-off steepest? That tells you exactly which stage to work on. Diagnosing the leak is 90% of the work. Stage 1. The top of the funnel. The job of the resume is to get you the screen. That is all it does. It does not get you the job. It gets you the next conversation. For that, it has to survive 2 readers, an automated system that schemes for keywords, and a busy human who scans it for about 6 or 7 seconds. So keep it to 1 page if you have under roughly 10 years of experience. Keep the layout simple, no tables, no columns, no images the parser cannot read. Standard headings. Then the bullets. Every strong bullet is an action verb, what you built, and the measurable impact. Rebuilt the payment service, cutting checkout latency by about 40%. Not responsible for payments. And tailor the top third to each role, so the first thing a reader sees lines up with what they asked for. I have a whole deep dive video just on the resume, so I will not redo all of it here. But here is the diagnostic that matters. If you are sending applications and getting no callbacks at all, this is your leaking stage. The problem is the resume or the roles you are aiming at. Fix this before you touch anything else. Stage 2. Your portfolio, your proof. If the resume gets you the screen, the portfolio is what turns up maybe into let us talk. It is the evidence behind the claims. Here is the mistake almost everyone makes. Breadth over depth. 20 half-finished tutorials on your GitHub. That impresses no one. What you want is 2 to 4 real projects, actually deployed, that someone can click and use. Each with a clean README that explains what it is, why you built it, and how to run it. And at least one of them should be genuinely impressive. Not another to-do app, something with a bit of real complexity, that you can talk about for 20 minutes without running out of things to say. Depth over breadth, every time. 1 project you understand completely beats 10 you copied. Why does this matter so much? Because it is the difference between telling someone you can build software and showing them that you already have. When a hiring manager can look at working, deployed code with your name on it, a lot of doubt just disappears. This is what earns the interview. Stage 3. The applications themselves. And here is where most people quietly sabotage their own funnel, spray and pray. Firing off 200 identical applications and wondering why nothing lands. 10 targeted applications will beat 200 generic ones. When you actually read the job post, mirror its language, and adjust your resume to match, your conversion rate at every downstream stage goes up. A tailored application is not just politeness, it is math. Fewer applications, but each one far more likely to convert. A few concrete rules. Apply early. Being in the first batch of applicants genuinely helps, because roles often fill before the posting even closes. Mirror the post. If they say the exact skills you have, use their exact words. And track everything. A simple sheet, company, date, the stage you are at, and the next step you owe them. That tracking sheet is not busywork. It is what stops good opportunities from falling through the cracks, and it is what feeds the dashboard we will build at the end. Quality over quantity, and write it all down. Stage 4. Referrals. And this is the one people skip because it feels uncomfortable, which is exactly why it is such an advantage. A large share of roles get filled through referrals, and many are filled before they are ever posted publicly. A referral does something no perfect resume can do, it skips the pile entirely. Instead of being applicant number 400 in a queue, you are the person so-and-so vouched for. You start the whole funnel from a warmer place. So how do you get them without being that person who spams strangers? Build in public. Share what you are working on, write about what you learn, be visible in communities where developers actually hang out. Over time, people know who you are and what you can do. And when you do reach out, be warm and specific. Not, hey, can you refer me? Instead, I saw your team is hiring a back-end engineer, I have built X and Y that line up with it, would you be open to a quick chat? Specific, respectful, easy to say yes to. Relationships built before you need them are worth more than any single application. Stage 5. The interviews. This is usually the widest, scariest part of the funnel, and it really breaks into 3 separate skills. First, the technical fundamentals and patterns. Data structures, algorithms, the common problem patterns. You reference the same approach as any structured interview prep, learn the patterns, not 1,000 random problems. I have a separate breakdown on that whole approach. Second, your projects. Be ready to talk about your own work in real depth, the decisions you made, the trade-offs, what you would do differently. This is where that one impressive portfolio project pays off twice. Third, the behavioral round, and this is the one people neglect. Use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Have 5 or 6 reusable stories ready: a conflict, a failure, a thing you led, a hard bug. And the single highest return habit here: practice out loud. Do mock interviews. Knowing an answer in your head and saying it cleanly under pressure are 2 completely different skills. If you are getting interviews but no offers, this stage is your leak. Stage 6. The offer, and the negotiation. And I want to reframe this completely, because most people get it wrong. An offer is not a verdict on your worth. It is a starting point for a conversation. First rule, always be polite and get it in writing. Verbal offers are nice, but you make decisions on the written one. And never, ever accept on the phone in the moment. However excited you are, say thank you, say you are thrilled, and ask for a little time to review. That pause costs you nothing and protects you from a rushed decision. Second, it is normal and expected to negotiate. Companies plan for it. A polite, respectful counter does not make you difficult, it is a routine part of the process, and often it adds real value. And it is not only about salary. You can negotiate the start date, the level or title, sign-on, equity. Sometimes the level is worth more long-term than the number. A short, well-mannered counter, something like, I am really excited about this, and based on my experience and the market, I was hoping we could get the base closer to this figure, often just works. The worst case is they say no and you still have the original offer. There is very little downside, and real money on the table. So how do you run this whole thing without losing your mind? You build one simple dashboard. This is the tracking system, and it is what turns a chaotic search into a diagnosable one. It is just a funnel counter. For numbers, applications sent, callbacks and screens, interviews, and offers. That is it. But those 4 numbers tell you exactly where your search is leaking, because you can see the conversion between each step. Here is how to read it. Lots of applications, no callbacks. Your leak is at the top, go fix the resume and the portfolio, or reconsider which roles you are targeting. Getting interviews but no offers. The top of your funnel is working fine, your leak is the interviewing itself, so that is where every hour of practice should go. Screens but no interviews. Look at how you come across in that first call, and whether the roles really fit. This is the whole reason we framed it as a funnel. You stop guessing. You stop the vague, job hunting is not working, spiral. The data points at one stage, and you go put your energy exactly there. Measure, diagnose, fix the leak, repeat. Before we wrap, the part that actually determines whether you make it, resilience. Because here is the truth of this whole process. Rejection is the default outcome. It is not the exception, it is what happens most of the time, to almost everyone, including people far more experienced than you. So you have to take it off the personal shelf. A rejection is one branch of a funnel not converting on one particular day, for reasons you often never learn and usually cannot control. It is a numbers game with a skill component. You improve the skill, you keep feeding the numbers, and you let the funnel do its work. Practically, that means 3 things. Iterate on the leaking stage, do not rewrite everything after one no, change the one thing the data points to. Keep your pipeline full, never write a single application, because when your whole hope is on one company, one rejection is devastating. And protect your energy. This is a marathon. Rest, keep perspective, lean on people. A burned-out candidate interviews badly, which leaks the very stage they are worried about. Keep the pipeline full, keep improving the weak stage, and stay in the game long enough for the math to land in your favor. So here is the entire system in one frame, the funnel, top to bottom, and the one lever that fixes each stage. Resume gets the screen, if you get no callbacks, fix this. Portfolio gets the interview, 2 to 4 deployed projects, 1 impressive. Applications, 10 targeted beat 200 generic, and track everything. Referrals, build in public and skip the pile with warm, specific asks. Interviews get the offer, fundamentals, your projects, and star stories, practiced out loud. The offer is a starting point, get it in writing, and negotiate. And over all of it, the dashboard tells you where the leak is, and resilience keeps you in the game long enough to win. Find the leaking stage. Fix that stage. Repeat. That is the whole job hunt. That is the complete developer job hunt system, resume to offer, as one funnel you can diagnose instead of a mystery you just endure. The people who land jobs are rarely the smartest in the room. They are the ones who treated it like a funnel, found a leak, fixed it, and kept their pipeline full when it got hard. I put the full written guide at the link below. And if you want everything in one place, interview prep and the whole job hunt system together, the Get Hired bundle is linked in the description. Completely optional, but it is the fastest way to run this whole playbook. Subscribe for more honest developer career breakdowns, and I will see you in the next one.